Thank you for listening to the Die Hard Den podcast presented by Detroit Lions on the Prowl on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. Some said we would go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here. A mega Hall of Fame career in Motown. Coming up on this edition of the Die Hard Den podcast presented by Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Seany J and I discuss Calvin Johnson's historic selection to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Then we take a look at some positions of need for the Lions in the upcoming NFL draft. All this and more coming up right now on the Die Hard Den podcast presented by Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Watch out. Here comes that roar. What up, dude? This is Curt Steele, and welcome to the Die Hard Den podcast. And as always, I'm with my man, Seany J.
Good evening, good people. How you doing out there?
Hey, Seany, what's going on, my man? How you doing, brother? It is good to talk to you today. We got some big things for the show. How you been doing, brother?
I've been hanging in there, Curtis, with man, trying to stay warm, and we're in a deep freeze up here in Michigan. But God is good, and we'll get through it.
Hey, that's all good, brother. Hey, you know I'm down in North Carolina, but let's get this thing started. You know what we do at the top. It is time to tell me something good, and I'm going to kick it off. You already know. We're going to talk about Calvin Johnson, first ballot Hall of Famer. It is a miracle. I did not think he would be selected as a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's just great. And it's going to help mend the fences with the team. We've already had reports coming out of Allen Park and Johnson himself saying that he has had some sit-down, face-to-face conversations with Sheila Ford him. So Hall of Fame and mending fences with the Lions, that's very big with the Tell Me Something Good. What do you got with Tell Me Something Good, my man?
Before I go to mine, I want to say yes. I thought Calvin definitely was the first ballot Hall of Famer. He was one of the most explosive, best players. He, during his time, he was definitely a first ballot. I'm definitely glad that Sheila Hemp or Ford Hemp, whatever she called her.
Ford Hemp, Sheila Ford Hemp.
Ford Hemp working things out to bring the second best player behind Barry, of course, back to the Lions, because we don't want Calvin to go in the Hall of Fame in a generic uniform. That would be awfully embarrassing to the Lions. You know what I'm saying? But my tell me something good is that Matthew Stafford is such a class act. He's the third greatest player, I think, behind Barry and Calvin in Lions history. He's been traded. Trade has not official till St. Patty's Day when a new league year begins, but there's some work there. But him and his wife have left the city of Detroit a nice educational center as a parting gift. Their way of saying thank you and saying goodbye to the city of Detroit, where he's played for 12 seasons. This is where he started. He has the ups and downs. I want him to stay. I was a Stafford backer.
Yeah, I like Stafford myself.
He's ready to go, and if a man's ready to go, you don't hold him back or her back. But the thing, I just want to point, I'm going to bring another perspective to this real quick. Stafford, of course, didn't have to do this, especially with the way. I'm not going to say majority, but I'm going to say several Lions fans, how they treated Stafford so badly, so poorly, so nasty. So a large segment of the fan base wanted him gone for years, and they booed him, and they didn't appreciate how he played over injuries and all and how tough he was, all the good stuff he did for the Lions and the city of Detroit. And like you mentioned, how his family was treated just last year over the COVID situation. People were thinking he was faking and perpetrating. I mean, people around here are nasty and toxic. So, the average athlete, once they leave town, they don't leave no parting gift like that. So Stafford left the city of Detroit, a gift they really didn't deserve. But he's a classy guy, and that's why I'll miss him.
Yeah, definitely taking care of the kids and the future of Detroit. Big shout out to Matthew Stafford. All right, and last but not least, my last tell me something good is Frank Ragnow and Taylor Decker made the PFF Top 101 players for the 2020 season. That's very big. The Lions didn't have a lot of bright spots on the team at all this season, but Ragnow and And Decker making that from the offensive line, that's going to solidify us in the future. Decker got the extension. He played well, so he earned his money this season with his extension. And we already know that Big Frank the Tank has always been holding it down at the center position.
I'm happy for both guys, and I really like Decker. And this is a Wolverine fan who's giving some shout out to a Buckeye.
Yeah.
You know, I always said that if Ohio State Buckeye, I hate the Buckeyes, but if they can help my Lions, business is business.
Yep.
I put aside the college rivalry. Business is business. Of course, besides Decker, a couple former Buckeyes are my favorite Lions. Like I love Chris Spillman and William White and Dick LeBeau. They're all Buckeyes, but they're one of my favorite all-time Lions too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm not big on the Buckeyes, but you know they put them in Honolulu blue and silver. Hey, they all right with me. So hey, that is tell me something good for this week. Hey, it is time to go on the ball, and first up, we're gonna look at the Hall of Fame career numbers for Calvin Johnson. He had 731 receptions, 11,619 yards, 83 receiving touchdowns, and he had the NFL record for most yards in a single season back in 2012 with 1,964 yards. Now, I understand what you were saying. I wanted him to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, Shawnee J. But my issue is that it's so hard for wide receivers to make it on the first ballot. That's why I didn't really think he would. I always thought he was deserving of the first ballot, but you look at some of the receivers that have not made it on first ballot, and I was just kind of worried about him not making it. But it's all water under the bridge now. What do you think about Calvin Johnson's career in Detroit?
It's like Barry Sanders. It's a brilliant career, but he cut it short because of his frustrations with the team. I'm not mad at him or Barry. I still love those guys. Still two of my favorite all-time Lions, and hope Sheila, you know, does the right thing by making amends, bring Calvin back to the family. Also, get a man his money back. Get Barry his money back too. I mean, they gave so much to this franchise. They gave their heart and soul to this team, and you know, they deserve that money. Like I said, because you know they deserve that money. You stole money from them.
Yeah.
I mean, they deserve that money. Look how the Colts. The Colts didn't demand money back from Andrew Luck when he retired prematurely.
They gave him more. They gave him $6 million more when he retired. They gave him a $6 million bonus out the door.
Yeah, and he never play again. So, like talking about race baiting. You see, people say race baiting. Is this an issue of racial disparity? I mean, if they were white, I mean, are they making Matthew Stafford get money back, or you know? So, well, I don't like Devil Lions, but I don't like the race bait. But you know,
it's one of those things. I think that it was a different regime that was running the team back then. So hopefully we can get this corrected with the new regime in, new general manager, new owner, and we're gonna just have some conversations to move on, and hopefully Sheila Forham can rectify the situation with Calvin Johnson. And with the race baiting thing, it was a comment that Shawnee J made, and we're going to talk about it later on in the show about a certain Hall of Fame upcoming Hall of Fame quarterback and a situation that happened in the media here not too long ago. But we'll get to that later on. But Calvin Johnson, let's get into some of the history that he made being selected to the Hall of Fame. Okay, let's look at it. He is only the seventh first ballot Hall of Fame wide receiver. That's why I was kind of worried about him being selected, because they don't do that often. Okay, he's only the third Hall of Famer player to be 35 years or younger at his induction. That's going to be in August. Now he's the 17th Detroit Lion. That means he played his whole career or most of his career in Detroit to make the Hall of Fame. That's a pretty good class to be in as well. Now here is the more elite company as far as his college career. He's only the third player from Georgia Tech to ever make the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Wow. Who are the other two?
Wow.
Who are the other two, you know?
No clue who the other two guys. These are guys back from like the 60s and 70s. These aren't modern day players that made the Hall of Fame out of Georgia.
I can look that up later. No
yeah,
problem.
can you name a player from Georgia Tech that that really made it in the league besides Calvin Johnson? But besides what's the wide receiver that played out in Denver for a while? He was the other one. I can't even remember that guy's name. I mean, there's not really a lot of Hall of Fame players that played in Georgia Tech.
I remember the Packers had a running back from Georgia Tech in the early '80s, Eddie Ivory. Remember him?
Yeah, but he's not a Hall of Famer.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
Nah, he's not a Hall of Famer, man. So but that's the elite company that Calvin Johnson is in. Looking at that, just look at that. 35 years of age or younger at the time of his induction. That means he definitely shut his career down early. But I will say this about Calvin Johnson: he played his heart out in Detroit. Played the last couple of seasons where he really didn't even practice much. He pretty much did the walkthrough on Saturdays and played on Sunday. He was on the treatment table. He was on the treatment table for most of the week. He just really played his heart out, blood, sweat, and tears for the city of Detroit. And I heard some disparaging comments. Well, he didn't earn the money, that's why he took it back. No, Calvin Johnson earned every dollar he ever got from Detroit and then some.
As did Barry Sanders.
Yeah, and here's the thing: the guy made the Pro Bowl. Out of this 9 years he played, he made the Pro Bowl 6 times. 6 times he made the Pro Bowl. He was a 3-time All-Pro selection, first team All-Pro. And here's the deal. He only had two winning seasons in Detroit. Had a Hall of Fame career and only two winning seasons. That's crazy.
His career is comparable to like former Bears great Gale Sayers, the running back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gale Sayers only had 2 winning teams and he never even made the playoffs.
Nope.
And him and Butkus both,
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. Let me say real quick, Big Butkus was the NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 1969, and Gale Sayers came back from the injury and led the league in rushing that year. But the Bears still had their worst record in team history of 113. So, yeah, so it's those 2 guys, they were enough, I guess, for the Bears. I mean, they were good building blocks for the Bears. Couldn't really build a success with 2 of the best players in NFL history, Bears, Sayers and Butkus. So,
it's going to be the same thing in Detroit, you know what I'm saying, where you're going to have another Hall of Famer, Matthew Stafford. Even when he, goes out to the Rams and does good things, he's always going to be remembered as a Detroit Lion. And when his time for his gold jacket, he'll be a Lion as well. He's going to play.
So let me mention this real quick. Stafford going to the Rams, right?
Uh-huh.
The Rams have a history of, I posted something like this in the group. I don't know if you saw it or not. They have a history of killing careers. Like Joe Namath in his career with the Rams after 1 year. And so did Burt Jones and the former Falcons quarterbacks, Steve Bartkowski and Chris Miller. Well, so can Stafford last longer than those guys?
The only thing about that, it's a different day and different regime. You go out there now, LA is a really good team. And they have, Coach McVay out there. So I don't think it's going to be quite the same thing out there in LA for Matthew Stafford. I hear what you're saying, but I really don't subscribe to that. Sometimes, you look at where Joe Namath was at the end of his career. Stafford's still a pretty young guy. I mean, he's only 33 years old, so it's not like he's well advanced in his career. So
Joe Namath, when he went out to LA, but Joe Namath, he was beaten up. Stafford's been pretty beaten up in his career, but we'll see. Like same thing with Bartkowski and Burt Jones and Chris Miller. We'll see how Stafford can break the Rams quarterback curse, if you will, like the Ohio State Buckeye quarterback curse.
Yeah. Hey, all right. So that is on the ball this week. Now we're gonna take a short break and come back and defend the den. All right, we're back from the break. Now it is time to defend the den. Now we're going to talk about some positions of need for the Lions. All right, so let's take a look at our choices for positions of need in the draft. Now, this is coming from some conversations myself and Shawnee J have had, and some of the things, of course, Shawnee J has posted in the Facebook groups. Now, me, I got my three positions of need, what I think the Lions should draft. Um, First of all, I think the Lions are definitely a need of a linebacker. We have a very decimated linebacking core, not very fast. You look at Jelani Tavai, and you're going to have some people that's going to really be out the door. Looking at Collins is going to probably going to be out the door, and I probably would say probably Christian Jones and maybe some other guys going to be out the door for this upcoming season. Another position of need that I said is going to be a wide receiver. We only have one assigned to the team right now, and that's Quintez Cephas. So you're definitely going to need some wide receivers. And I think we need to shore up the defensive line. Edge rushers, maybe another interior guy is where I think we need to go. Some names that I brought up, I think this should be Mika Parsons, of course, out of the University, Penn State University. Then you have Devontae Smith or Waddle out of Alabama, or then you look at Jamar Chase out of LSU. Defensive line, you got the big fella coming out of Washington. His name I can't Levi Rozake, Anazurike, out of Washington. The guy is a beast, big, solid defensive lineman who can help shore up. You can rotate in with Seany and Danny Shelton. Shawnee J, what are your three positions of need? And you can break it down by who you think the Lions should pick in the upcoming draft.
Okay, now people crucified me for this,
Mm-hmm.
but I still okay. The three positions, one of the positions I think the Lions still need to show up
Mm-hmm.
is the running back position.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know we drafted two guys in the second round, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not working out. Like Swift,
Mm-hmm.
he's talented, so is on, but they're still improving, and they kind of got smaller on the smaller end. Injury problems. I know you say Will Swift just got hurt
Mm-hmm.
briefly last year, but still, it bothers me, and I think we're going to need someone else besides those two going into the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the Alabama Crimson Tide's on-time leading rusher,
Mm-hmm.
Najee Harris. I love the big guys.
Mm-hmm.
6'2", 230 pounds with speed. That Jim Brown type running back. I love those big guys.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind Najee. And
Mm-hmm.
also, like you said, we're going to need a receiver because we only have one receiver
Mm-hmm.
on the contract right now. That's Quintez.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Marvin Jones said he want to join Stafford in
Mm-hmm.
L.A. He's getting older. He's
Mm-hmm.
31 years old. He want to win the ring. I can't blame him.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Galladay's come off an injury. Hopefully, I still want him back.
Mm-hmm.
But still, well, excuse me, we're going to need another stud receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I love Devontae Smith. I mean, the Alabama's all-time leading receiver, every category,
Mm-hmm.
receptions, yardage, touchdown passes. He was dominating the national championship game. He got knocked out with a finger injury. You saw that game.
Yeah,
But the thing that I love,
he beat
Devontae
he beat Ohio State by
by
himself.
himself. But the thing I worry about Devontae is his slight build.
Yeah.
Only 6'1", 175 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's talented. I mean, that a little guy dominate the SEC like that
Mm-hmm.
and Ohio State. I mean, but can he do that in the pros? No, I think he's.
He could bulk up. You look at what's the young fellas out there in Atlanta. He played at
Calvin
Alabama.
Ridley.
He was slight of build
Calvin
too.
Ridley.
Calvin Ridley,
Yeah.
yeah, he was slight of build too. So I believe he can definitely make some moves. He's a young guy. His body hasn't even matured yet. So I get what you're saying though. Go ahead. What's your last position of need you think the Lions should go to?
For years, like I said, I want a strong running game.
Mm-hmm.
The Stafford. So one thing, Stafford only had 11. Excuse me, only had 11. Guys rush for 100-yard gains in his career. And only one 1,000-yard rusher.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want a strong pass rusher to go along with Okora. I'm not Okora, but Okara, Romeo. I want to keep Romeo, but I want somebody on the edge. Yes. Yes, I want a pass rusher, another pass rusher. We're going to need two. One coming from both ends, so you just can't focus on one guy. Teams dominated double team Okara, but because they knew nobody else get to the quarterback consistently. So that's why I want another pass rusher. So my three things I want for the Lions are pass rusher, running back, and receiver.
Okay. Hey, that's some good positions that we need. There's a lot of holes to fill on the Detroit Lions. One thing, the Lions are looking at getting younger, and definitely going to have to build that through the draft. We don't have a lot of cap space right now. Depends on who all we cut in the upcoming off season. So to see who we're going to have money to sign here in the off season as far as free agents, but that is uh, on the excuse me, that was defend the den. We talked about some positions of needs for the Lions in the upcoming NFL draft. Now it is time to get into the last segment of the show, and that is 2 points conversing. All right, so first of all, we're going to talk about the Lions coordinators just had their first press conference. And I know, Shawnee J, you posted an article about the takeaways from that press conference. You know, one of the things that really stuck out to me was most of the new staff have either worked with Campbell before or they wanted to work with Campbell. They were fired up to come work for. You look at Aaron Glenn, Dave Phipp, Anthony Lynn. They had either coached with him before or as far as Lynn coached him before when he was in Dallas. So you look at some of those guys. Then you look at Deuce Staley, who, he was excited to come to Detroit. What was your theme, your takeaways, like for some of those pressers? What was your big thought about what you saw from those pressers?
I mean, they got me fired up too. They got me wishing the season started tomorrow. They want to get to work. I mean, like I said, that's why they don't look at this season as, like I said, rebuilding. I hate that term rebuilding because rebuilding, you're not really rebuilding, you're reloading, like reloading a gun, shotgun, or what have you, or your 9mm. You don't build from scratch, you reload. So they don't. That's why I don't think Campbell or even Sheila or even Holmes wants to role of a rookie quarterback. That's why they were looking for an experienced young quarterback, and they got the perfect guy and get Jared Goff, who can resurrect his career, like they talk about Stafford resurrecting his career in LA. Well, Goff can do the same thing here.
Yeah, fresh
both
start.
need to change series. Yeah, fresh start for both of them.
Yeah.
And these guys want to win. They don't go to rebuilding seasons 3-13, 4-12 type seasons. They want to win coming out the gate. Campbell was very competitive.
Yeah.
Campbell, like I said before, in the group, you may have seen it. I compared Campbell to former Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Bill Cowher. They look alike, very similar resemblance, and the same, attitude, fiery. So I said it many times in the group. You probably saw it. The Lions that put together an all-star coaching staff and front office.
Yep.
They want to win.
Yep.
Now, can we get some all-star players here?
Yeah, that's going to be the difference. A couple of more things that I took away from the press conference is that from Lynn and Anthony Lynn and Deuce Staley, offensive coordinator and the running backs coach / assistant head coach, was they thought that Swift was a 3-down back. They want to give him as many touches as possible. And another thing is that we're talking to defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. Glenn said we have to fit the scheme to the players and not the players to the scheme. And that is something different from what we had in the Patricia regime, where they wanted to make the players fit the scheme, and they had a lot of players playing out of position. So what do you think about those two things? Saying that Swift was a 3-down back or is a 3-down back, and having the scheme fit the players and not the players fit the scheme.
Swift first. I'll take Swift first. I can't deny he's a talented player. Remember, he wasn't who I wanted last year's draft. You know who I wanted? I wanted Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin. Yeah. Like I said, another big guy with speed. That's who I really wanted. Lions had a chance to get him, but they decided to go with Swift. And when I posted my post last year, I said, damn it, Lions, you took the wrong damn running back.
But I think Swift.
Remember that post?
Yeah, I mean, besides the injury, though, Swift. Here's my thing. I think Swift was underutilized last year. I think that even with Adrian Peterson said that a lot of those he should have been a starting running back 4 or 5 games before he was actually named a starter, just because of the. But
remember,
with the
before training camp, even ended, there's no preseason. both him and Carrion and both Scarborough's member team, all nursing injuries. That's why they had to go out and sign Adrian Peterson.
Yeah,
so. I mean, they were hurting before he played a game. So that's what bugs me. I mean, everybody get hurt.
The issue with that was that the fact that we didn't have a really, you don't have an off season program. Those nicks and bumps you usually get during like rookie training camp and OTAs. You didn't have that, so you get those nicks and bumps where your body didn't have a chance to adjust. You come into training camp like that. That's just another way to break your body down. It doesn't get a chance to adjust like it did if it would have had OTAs or rookie minicamp. So
true that lack of, like you said, mini camps, OTAs, and even the preseason to a certain extent really hurt certain teams. I know that nobody played that, but it hurt the Lions more. And like I said, I gotta look at who's the strength and conditioning coach for the Lions. Did they get a good guy?
I haven't seen who I don't think they filled that position yet. I think that it's still the individual from the last regime. I don't know if they're going to change it or not, but I don't think they've really settled in on a new person for that position just quite yet. So
yeah, because like I said, I was looking forward to that this offseason.
Yeah,
the strength and conditioning. Who's the guy? Because when they hired that guy from New England, I was kind of excited at the time because New England make him strong, but the Lions were complaining about Patricia and that guy they got from New England, how they did things. They said they overworked them. We Lions being babies, being babies.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Whatever it is, it didn't work.
Right.
Whatever.
They had suffered a lot of injuries. Yeah.
Yeah, they did suffer a lot of injuries. So whatever it was, it didn't work in Detroit. None of that Patriot way crap worked in Detroit. So
works outside New England, right?
Yeah, it doesn't. Well, and to me, and Danny Amendola, you made a good point. We can just get this right. He said that Tom Brady was the Patriot way. He said it wasn't Belichick, it was Tom Brady. And you look, it kind of came to fruition because Tom Brady won the Super Bowl. We'll talk about that here shortly, but Tom Brady won another Super Bowl outside of Belichick, and Belichick and the Patriots had a down season this year. They didn't make the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay, what do you think about Glenn's comment? Aaron Glenn saying the scheme needs to fit the players and not the players fit the scheme.
I agree with that wholeheartedly because, that's why Patricia tried to bring so many former Patriot guys to Detroit to fit his system. I mean, by the time those Patriots he got came to Detroit, they were old, they were older, they had some more wear and tear on them. Like the bottom line is the Patriot way doesn't work outside New England. I mean, it doesn't. Look, almost every Patriot, the Patriot coaching curse. There's so many curses.
Now the coaching tree sucks. Yeah.
Except for only one. I think it's in Mike Vrabel.
No, he never coached. He never coached in New England. He just played there.
So play, okay.
Yeah, he's not. He's not a member of the coaching tree. Yeah, I think the only one that really to me that had any really success was O'Brien, but he did the same thing that Patricia did, and it really tore that team down in Houston when he got to become the general manager down there. So he really destroyed that roster. Yeah, so.
Yeah, so like there's several curses out there: Ohio State quarterback curse, the New England coaching tree curse, and the LA Ram veteran quarterback curse.
we got a lot of hoodoo on this show today, but we got a lot of superstitions going on in this show today.
Right. I think Glenn is smart. Instead of trying to force, his way on the players, he builds the players' strength. That's some concept that Patricia could understand. It's my way or the highway.
Yep.
And he shipped out several good players like Darius Slay and your boy with New England,
Nino, Andre Diggs.
Yes, I love those two guys. Those two of my favorite Lions.
Two of my
and of
favorite
course,
Lions.
State,
yeah.
And we got very little or nothing in return.
Yep.
I mean, what are these draft picks we got for these guys? Yeah. Everybody keeps saying trade for draft capital. Where's what did the draft capital for those guys?
Weren't used very wisely. That's where it went. Those guys. Look at Will Harris. Hasn't lived up to his draft status. Yeah, second round pick. Look at some of the players that I don't know what they were thinking about drafting Tavai. When the people they can't even find tape on him when they looking him up. When he gets drafted, when they call his name, that means the guy should have been drafted later on in the draft.
It was blank stares. I
Yeah,
mean, I was having hope for Tavai because he
yeah,
had a pretty big career in Hawaii. But once again, I remember a few years ago before Patricia,
mm,
even before Patricia, remember people were complaining about the Lions being slow on defense.
mm-hmm,
Patricia liked those big 250, 260-pound linebackers.
mm-hmm.
Once again, he made it slow on defense. Now he trying to get fast again.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully we can do that. All right, so let's talk about some final thoughts on a Super Bowl. I would say this: the Super Bowl was a culmination of what happens when the things kind of go your way for the Chiefs as far as their offensive line is concerned, and Eric Fisher going down, that definitely hurt the Chiefs, and it didn't make any really adjustments really to their offense. They kind of tried to play the same way, and Todd Bowles did a excellent job of making the adjustments from the first game that they played. Uh, those guys didn't have a chance to get off, especially you look at Tyreek Hill. He did not put up anywhere even close to the numbers. Travis Kelce had a good game, but it was kind of hollow because it didn't really produce anything. Uh, it was just they kept Mahomes pressured the whole game, and it just wasn't happening. That defense for the Patriots, for the Buccaneers, was just awesome. And Tom Brady did his thing, 21 of 29. 3 touchdowns passing. I mean, he didn't have to do a lot. They just really played a good, solid game on both ends of the ball.
yes, and I knew the Bucks would win because look, it was a home game for them. It was right in their home stadium.
Man,
There's
first
no way
time in
to Super
NFL
Bowl win.
history that happened. The only thing they was missing was the cannons when they scored a
Yes, I
touchdown.
mean, and the Buccaneers cheerleaders, and
Yeah.
but you could tell
Mm-hmm.
that the majority of fans are cheering for the Bucks. So
I mean, they was in their home stadium. I could
yeah,
understood it. I mean, they had that was really the first time where, to be honest with that, the home team had the decided home field advantage. You know what I'm saying? Because they was
yeah.
actually in their stadium. But I give it up to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and that coaching staff. Bruce Arians put together a wonderful staff down there in Tampa. They did their thing. You can't take away anything from them. I can't take away anything that they did against the Chiefs. They really just stifled that defense. They really just stifled that high-powered offense, and you just don't see that happening. And they took advantage of some mismatches on defense. So, like Dan Campbell said, you want to get your best player on the worst player, and I think the Buccaneers did that on offense, and they just really confused Patrick Mahomes on defense. They were, showing a lot of different fronts, dropping out in the coverage, and he didn't have any time to throw the ball or anybody to throw the ball to because everyone was covered.
Let me ask this real quick: if everything remained equal, would the Bucks have won a Super Bowl or even made it to the Super Bowl if Jameis Winston was still the quarterback?
I'm not sure. I'm not. You know what though, and to be honest with you, with Jameis Winston, I just think that he's not Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a different quarterback. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a proven winner. He approaches the game different than Jameis Winston. I'm not saying Jameis Winston isn't talented, but he's not Tom Brady. Not many people are Tom Brady.
Right.
I mean, you have to give credit where credit is due. I've never been a big Patriot fan, and I'm not really a Tom Brady fan, to be honest with you. But I have to give credit where credit is due. The guy can play, he can ball, and I mean, it is what it is. I'm not, I'm not a Tommy touchdown guy. So that's just it is what it is. What they call him, Tampa Tom now, whatever it is down there. So, but congratulations again. I mean, to me, I think Todd Bowles and that defense to me should have been the Super Bowl MVP. I think what's his name, White should have got it. The guy had a heck of a game. I mean, you look at that defense. That defense is something to be reckoned with down there in Tampa.
This is true.
Yeah. Now go ahead. Now I know you want to talk about this. You brought this up in the group, so go ahead and Shawnee J, hit me up with your topic, what you want to talk about tonight on the show about one Mr. Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'm a big Tom. I was a Tom Brady fan. I'm a Michigan man, and so is Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was kind of treated poorly back in Michigan. He waited 4 years to finally get his term. We had to split time with Drew Henson, a freshman. Keep Henson. So, and Tom Brady, he's come a long way. Former 6th-round draft pick to maybe one of the best players in NFL history. 7 rings, but something happened this week or after the game. He kind of got caught on videotape. You may see the short 13-second video of him obviously drunk. He needs help from a teammate to help him walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't think that was Gronk. I think that was the backup quarterback. But anyway,
okay.
He needs help, and plus, you see him throwing the Super Bowl trophy from one boat to the other boat in the water. Now, what if they went to the bottom of the ocean, to the other bay? Who's going to swim down and get it? I mean, have to get a new trophy. But he was drunk and inebriated. And I made a post in our Detroit Lions Truest fan group and several other groups, sports groups on Facebook, asking the same question. Did this drunken display will it hurt his Tom Brady's legacy and reputation? Because, he's seen as a hard-working guy. He's 43 years old, played 21 years in NFL, won a 7th championship. And, the way he works as a Tom Brady workout regime, which keeps him healthy and playing all these years and being a milk-drinking quarterback. But to see him like this, that hurt his reputation. And about 100% of the people who respond, "Oh, man, hell no." If anything, I'm not a Patriot or Michigan fan or a Brady fan or a Buck fan, but if anything, I got more respect for the man. I'm a Brady fan now. It makes him human.
Yeah.
He'll look all arrogant. Makes him like he won the guy style. I gave respect. People say they gave respect for Brady after this, video. I mean, to my shock. I mean, I thought, I'm sure you got some people hate, but like I said, about 100% of people who respond to my videos in the various groups I posted it, they all said one thing: the hell no, man. He's cool. They love Tom Brady. Now they're Tom Brady fan after this,
You know what? I'll say this. I was one of those people that said hell no. I was like, you know what though? I'll say this, and I've been, in various positions of my life where, sometimes you gotta, you work so hard, you gotta play a little hard. And I think really he just earned it. I mean, just look at what he had to put up with this year in the NFL, the COVID season. It was just a lot of hard work and dedication. I mean, think about, if you look at the middle of the season, no one would have thought that after the couple of losing streaks they had, that they were going to be in the Super Bowl, and they just really worked hard and got that, really hit their stride. Tom Brady won his 7th NFL championship, Super Bowl, and he just wanted to let his hair down. I don't blame him at all. It is what it is. And like some people say, it shows a human side of him. He's not this cyborg that just goes out and plays game. It's just he's human. And I think he just really just let his hair down and just really just kind of just exhaled, And being up in, think about this, it's probably something that he probably couldn't have done in New England.
Cold as hell in New England.
Yeah, so I just think he just let his hair down and and just really enjoyed his teammates. And, I don't think it's going to tarnish his legacy at all. It's just one of those things where, things happen and he just happened to be celebrating hard. So it's something that he earned. I think he really deserves that chance to really celebrate like he wanted to.
But like I said, will the Buccaneer management coaches, frown upon this? And about corporate sponsors who he's currently signed to may want to give him a deal. When they look down on this and say, well, no, we don't want that type of guy represent our company.
Tom Brady's got so much money, he ain't got to. He has his own brand. I mean, the TB12 is just Tom Brady's his own brand, and he doesn't have to have any sponsors for himself. I mean, you look at it. I mean, you think Under Armour is going to drop Tom Brady? No. You think Gatorade's going to drop Tom Brady? No. It just ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? He has enough cachet built up where he can have something like that happen, and this is cool.
Okay, okay. Somebody in the group accused me of race baiting on
Mm-hmm.
this topic. I wasn't race baiting at all. I asked a legitimate question,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't ask this question. I asked now.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else asked the question.
Mm-hmm.
I think if there had been a black quarterback or a black player, say like it would have been Russell Wilson or some other black athlete
Mm-hmm.
doing that, would people be so forgiving? I'll play that devil's advocate now on that.
I don't know. Hey, that's something. If you want to answer that question, you can leave us an answer in the comments of this video. Hey, Sean said, hey, if it was a black quarterback, what do you think it would be different? Um, to me, now Patrick Mahomes last year didn't get that drunk, but shoot, he was catching the beer with his bare hands, chugging it. So I mean, he was just celebrating. So I don't look down upon anybody celebrating and having a moment of joy. I just think that it was just a chance for Tom Brady and the Buccaneers as a team, as a whole, to let their hair down and go ahead and enjoy that Super Bowl victory. And that will definitely close out the show for today. Hey, thank you for checking us out right here on the Die Hard Den podcast presented by Detroit Lions on the Prowl, and we're on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. If you watch this video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, comment on the video. And if you have checked this video out on Facebook, share the video with your friends. Hey, more Lions fans watching this content is better for you guys. We want as many Lions fans because we do this for you guys, the fans of the Detroit Lions. It's a fan podcast for fans of the Detroit Lions. So go ahead and check it out. Now, even on Facebook, if you're not a member already, join our Facebook page. Seany J holds it down over there on Facebook, keeping you abreast of all of the Detroit Lions news and rumors right there on our Facebook page, along with the Detroit Lions Truist fan page and many other sports pages throughout Facebook. Now, if you're listening to this show on one of the podcast platforms, thank you for the listen and the download. We really appreciate you supporting us on that platforms. Hey, we really appreciate you guys checking us out right here on the Die Hard Den podcast presented by Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Hey, now it is time for us to give our parting shots. Seany J, what do you have to say to the people on the way out the door?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's like a broken record, but until this COVID thing is solved, please be careful. Please be safe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see this any more cases spike of COVID. I want COVID eradicated. I want it gone. I want things, people get back to their normal lives. That means going back to work, going back to the games, doing things, going on vacations. I want us to enjoy life. So, but still, until then, be safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, and practice social distancing.
Definitely. And Seany J, tell them how they can find you on social media.
My name is Sean Jennings. You can find me on Facebook. That's where I am most of the time. I'll be happy to add you as a friend. I'll be happy to add you to our group. And you can find the Die Hard Dens on Facebook page easily. It's a public page, so you can find us. Like I said, I do my best to keep you informed and entertained.
All right. And you can find me definitely Curtis at Curtis Steele 14, CurtisStele 14 on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow the show on Twitter at Die Hard Den Pod C1, or on Instagram is at die_hard_den_podcast. And like I said, if you were checking us out on YouTube, you can go over to YouTube and check out the Die Hard Den podcast and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate you supporting us. And like Sean said, hey, be safe out there. COVID is still rampant out there, but if you have the opportunity, get vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? Take advantage of that. This is going to help everyone get back to normal. And please continue to social distance and wear your mask. So, hey, thank you for checking us out right here again on the Die Hard Den podcast. And do us a favor. Whatever you do in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my man, Seany J, this is Curt Steele, and we are out.